Hello and welcome to ELA Explained. In this video, we'll look at rhetorical devices that alter the relationship between language and reality by either enlarging or diminishing what is being described. Our first term is hyperbole. Hyperbole is a deliberate exaggeration used for emphasis. Unlike an ordinary overstatement, it is not meant to be taken literally. Hyperbole can serve multiple rhetorical purposes. It can intensify emotion, create humor, or emphasize urgency. It is often used to establish atmosphere, reveal a character's subjective perception, or highlight the gap between reality and experience. Hyperbole is not about deception. It is about scaling reality to match emotion. Let's look at two examples. In Shakespeare's Macbeth, the titular protagonist describes his guilt after committing murder by asking, "Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand?" A stain of blood is measured against an entire ocean. This impossible contrast in scale conveys Macbeth's overwhelming sense of guilt. Here, hyperbole creates both moral and emotional intensity. A more humorous example of hyperbole can be found in Life on the Mississippi. Mark Twain expresses his frustration with having to memorize vast amounts of information in order to pilot a steamboat. He exaggerates by claiming that he must learn a million trifling variations and know them better than his own house, adding that he would rather die. This childlike emotional overreaction creates humor by turning a tedious learning process into an epic disaster. Meiosis is a rhetorical figure in which something is described as less significant or important than it really is. There is some disagreement about the relationship between understatement and meiosis. Some scholars treat the terms as synonymous. Others view understatement as the broader category, and meiosis as either its more extreme form or a deliberate rhetorical strategy rather than simple modesty or restraint. One reason for this confusion is that understatement is so common in everyday speech. When used deliberately for rhetorical effect, meiosis can mock, criticize or disparage, create humor, soften criticism, show restraint, and qualify statements. Let's look at two examples. In King Lear, Lear is traumatized, exhausted, and psychologically unstable. He seems aware of his condition, yet describes himself as being not in his perfect mind. The gap between the language and the reality creates a powerful dramatic impact. The phrase "I fear" strengthens the effect further, as Lear describes complete mental collapse in restrained, almost gentle language. The understatement makes his suffering feel even more tragic and human. In The Great Gatsby, Tom Buchanan says, "I've got a nice place here," referring to his enormous and extravagantly luxurious mansion. The understatement is not simply a matter of politeness. While the wording feels natural for someone of Tom's social class, it also conveys entitlement, arrogance, and emotional detachment. Tom speaks as though immense wealth is so ordinary that it hardly deserves being mentioned. The final term we'll examine today is litotes, a figure of speech in which an affirmation is expressed by denying its opposite, usually creating a form of understatement. In other words, litotes can be understood as a specific type of understatement. Litotes serves multiple functions. It can demonstrate restraint and allow a speaker to avoid making an overly strong claim. At the same time, it can have the opposite effect, emphasizing an idea indirectly and often creating irony or humor. We can see an example of litotes in Frederick Douglass's narrative. When Douglass learns that he's being rented out to Mr. Covey, a man known for his cruelty, he surprisingly welcomes the move, despite expecting hardship and brutal treatment. His reaction suggests just how desperate his previous situation must have been. Rather than appealing directly to the reader's sympathy or expressing his emotions in dramatic language, Douglass adopts a restrained and reasonable tone. Through litotes, he maintains the controlled, dignified voice that characterizes much of his narrative. In O. Henry's short story A Cosmopolite in a Cafe, the narrator says a mystery is not insolvable, instead of simply saying it is easily explained. This use of litotes creates a more measured and thoughtful tone, while still expressing confidence that the answer can be found. That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.